Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday edition of You, Me, and EFT. It is March 12th. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I hope you guys made it through daylight time. I'm going to open up the chat so that as we have viewers, feel free to chat, and we'll go from there. If I have no viewers, like Thursday evening, I'm going to wrap this up in about 30 minutes because I hate straight lecture. Thursday evening was great television programming. I'm up against this morning. I'm up against some great church services which broadcast live on Sunday morning, which I'm all for that. And in that same vein, I thought we would open up in a word of prayer. And I'm going to leave my glasses on because I will need to see the prayer. And this prayer we're going to do is called the Clown's Prayer. This prayer was in Chris Farley's wallet at his death. He carried it with him wherever he went to. And Chris Farley was a famous comic from Saturday Night Live. So we're gonna tap, starting with the karate chop point. As I stumble through this life, help me to create more laughter than tears. Dispense more cheer than gloom. Spread more cheer than despair. Never let me become so indifferent that I will fail to see the wonders in the eyes of a child, or the twinkle in the eyes of the aged. Never let me forget that my total effort is to cheer people, make them happy, and forget momentarily all the unpleasantness in their lives. And in my final moment, may I hear you whisper, when you made my people smile, you made me smile. Amen and peace. Okay. The other thing I want to do as we're getting started is I want to give you a reminder about the group I'm involved with. So I pull that information up. It's called the Woodlands EFT Tappers. And as always, I will post the link down somewhere in the comments. That seems to work best for me. But the Woodlands EFT Tappers, if you ever in the Woodlands, Texas, on Wednesday morning, we meet from 9:30 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. We have a time of sharing, a time of watching videos, and also a time of tapping on people's issues or whatever. We also do happy tapping, but all the information will be at grouptapping.com. And like I say, I will post that in the comments below. Okay. I always like to share about a couple of books. And the founder of EFT, Mr. Gary Craig, studied a lot. He comes out of engineering. and most EFT practitioners have studied a lot. And one of the things that the founder Gary Craig made use of in his formation was something called NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. I've spoken about it before in some of my other videos. It's a real neat system. NLP itself is based on the work of Richard Bandler and John Grinder and some others, and they studied some of the premier psychologists of their day. First and foremost, Dr. Milton Erickson. They studied, I think his name was Fritz Perls, who did the Gestalt therapy. He also studied Virginia Satir, who was real big into family therapy and parts therapy, and those are just three of the people that they used to put together NLP. So the first book that I got on NLP is one of the first books that was published by Richard Bandler and John Grindler, is Frogs in the Princes, and it was published in 1979. I got my copy on April 4th, 1991, which was at a time when I was signing and dating my books. I don't do that so much anymore. You'll see that on my index card, which I will typically put in every book that I buy, there are 9 tick marks. So in the past 20 some odd years, I've read this thing 9 times. Frogs and the Princes. And basically it's a, they did seminars, and the book is based on the transcripts of the seminars. Now, the second book I want to talk to you about is anytime you hear about someone in meridian tapping doing a reframe comes straight out of NLP. It comes straight out of Dr. Milton Erickson's work, and it was not original with Dr. Erickson. I'm sure he picked it up from somebody else. But reframing is another early NLP book published in 1982. I'm not sure when I got this one, but probably after I got that one, the first one. And in this book, I've read it 8 times, so not as many times as the first book. And like I said, I've had this book for over 20 years. But reframing, neuro-linguistic programming, and the transformation of meaning. So whenever you hear that term reframing, and you can reframe by time, you can reframe by context or by perspective. It's a very helpful tool, and these books are very helpful books, because a lot of what we do in EFT is based somewhat on NLP. So what's next on the docket? What shall we do next? I guess we'll just tap the story. And there are a couple of things that have been bothering me this week. And the first one is Creflo Dollar, who needs $65 million, $60 million according to CNN. $60 million for a new jet because he is tired of flying coach. And why should a minister of the Lord fly coach? So that's the story. I'm going to take off my glasses for this one. I don't think I need my glasses just to tell the story. We're going to start with the karate chop point. I'm going to add in some reflexology. And we're just going to tell the story, or my story, about really how I'm upset about these so-called shepherds of the Lord who are just really out to fleece the flock. I used to watch a television minister named C. Frederick Price out of Los Angeles. And he is a very dynamic speaker, very, very much in the charismatic vein. And for several months, he taught on the subject. I believe it's in Acts chapter 5, maybe, where all of the disciples and apostles got together and they shared everything. And the tagline was, "And none suffered lack." And he must have taught on this. I would record him on Friday nights, and he must have taught on this for 6 months. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he driving at? And I just became curious to find out what his point was. I really wasn't listening to the sermons anymore, just figure out what his point was. And finally, one day he spilled the beans that he needed money for a jet plane because he was tired of flying between Los Angeles and New York on coach. He needed his own plane. And several ministers had their own plane or whatever. So I guess keeping up with the Joneses, you get your own plane. But so I decided, once I had figured out what he was driving at, I decided that I didn't need to watch him anymore. And Creflo Dollar, I've watched maybe once or twice. I just think he's a prosperity minister, and I don't have a problem with prosperity ministers per se, except when the only person that seems to prosper is them. So, and that's not what a shepherd does. I don't even like the word shepherd anymore, because if he's the shepherd, then sheep, or I'm the sheep. I don't think I like being a sheep. I think I need help from time to time, but I think it's incumbent upon me to figure out my own problems, to make my own way in life, and certainly being a sheep doesn't really lend itself to that paradigm of being a sheep. But even so, if we're going to go with that paradigm, then let's look at what the Bible actually says that the shepherd was supposed to do. And of course, King David was a shepherd, and King David protected his flock from lions and bears and what have you. So, but basically, at night, the shepherd would put his sheep in an enclosure, and it would have been just like a rock enclosure, a circle, and with an opening that did not have a gate. So nobody get trapped in there or trapped out, I suppose. But anyway, the shepherd would put his sheep in this rock enclosure at night, and he himself would sleep in the opening where the gate should have been. He would sleep in the gate, so that if anybody wanted to come after the sheep, a wolf or a bear or a lion or whatever, that they would have to go through the shepherd. And I don't see a lot of shepherds in this day and age that are willing to do that, that would sleep in the opening. Most shepherds today, most pastors today, they want to sleep in a house up on the hill, a big fine house up on the hill or whatever. And if the sheep find a place to sleep, hey, that's okay with them. So, and I served as a lay minister in two spiritualist churches, and I never asked for a dime. I never expected a dime for my services. I was just happy to serve. And I just kind of wish, I'm sure there are some good pastors out there, some good ministers out there, and minister means servant. And we need servant leaders more than we need people, big fines whizzing across the country. So that's me telling the first story. Peace. Now the second story involves a country that I don't know much about. uh, the country that Cyclone Ham hit. I suppose it was yesterday. I'm kind of hazy about the international date line and everything. Pardon me, but I think it was um, yesterday, and the country is called Vanuatu, VANUATU, and I'm sure I probably slaughtered uh, that name, but the president of that island nation has asked for help, and Mr. President, help is coming. It's my understanding, and I'm just going to tap along as I talk. It's my understanding that New Zealand, our Kiwi brothers and sisters, are already on the ground helping out. That Australia is going to help out. The Brits, of course, are on their way, and I suspect if the United States does not have an aircraft carrier in the area, they will have one within a couple of days, and it's going to be all hands on deck. And we're going to do what we do best. We're going to help people out. So want to see love and light streaming toward that island nation that was devastated by Cyclone Pam. And the help, I'm seeing the help as being bigger and better than the cyclone. And I'm seeing it happen now and soon. And the other thing I want to talk about is that each of us are born with two ministries. There is the ministry of our presence. Just by showing up, we can help out. And the ministry of our prayer. And if you can't use the ministry of your presence, then you can certainly double up on the ministry of your prayer. And I'm sure prayers are needed and will be welcome in that little country. And I can't even pronounce the old name of that country. The old name of that country is New Hebrides or something like that. But I can't pronounce that. But I'm sure in the days and weeks to follow, we will learn the correct pronunciation of that nation as we seek to help those people out in their time of need. Is like I say, it's what we do. It's what we do. Peace. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm upset about. I'm gonna pull up the Google News feed. Like I say, if you see anything that's bothering you, you can just tap on that. Okay. Okay, I really don't see anything else going on that I feel like having. I'm interested in the elections in Israel. I'm glad they're in a different time zone, so I can hopefully figure out what's going on there for bedtime Tuesday night. Okay, so nothing really bothering me at this point. So I can't tap about music. Maybe I can pull up some lyrics and we can tap on some lyrics. My favorite groups is a group out of England called Soul to Soul, and they had a big hit, oh, I guess about a quarter of a century ago, called Keep On Moving. It was not their biggest hit, it was their second hit. And that's been kind of like an inspirational song to me, so I think we'll tap on that, or at least part of it. The song was written by Trevor Romeo, and I didn't know that until right now. Everything just went dark on me. Okay, now I can see again. So, soul to soul, keep on moving. Keep on moving. Don't stop like the hands of time. Click clock. Find your own way to stay. The time will come one day. Why do people choose to live their lives this way? Keep on moving, don't stop. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Keep on moving, don't stop, no. Keep on moving. It's our time, time today. The right time is here to stay. Stay in my life always. Yellow is the color of sun rays. I hide myself from no one. I know the time will surely come when you'll be in my life always. Yellow is the color of sun rays. Keep on moving. Don't stop. Keep on moving. Don't stop, no. Like the hands of time. Keep on moving. Click clock. Find your own way to stay. Keep on moving. The time will come one day. I know the time, time today. Walking alone in my own way. Extremely cold and rainy day. Friends and I have fun along the way. Yes, we do. I hide myself from no one. I know the time will really come when you'll be in my life always. Yellow is the color of sun rays. Keep on moving. Don't stop. Keep on moving. Don't stop, no. Like the hands of time. Keep on moving. Click clock. Keep on moving. Find your own way to stay. The time will come one day. Yes. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. Don't stop, no. Keep on moving. Peace. Okay. 25 minutes past the hour, and no viewers or chatters. I guess I might talk a little bit about what EFT can do and maybe what it can't do. EFT, just through my research on the internet, has been used for all kinds of problems: weight loss problems, problems of motivation and procrastination. It has been used with war vets for their post-traumatic stress syndrome. It is being used with people with MPD or DID, multiple personality disorder. It is being used really for everything. People will tap to music like I do, or they'll tap to drums. They'll combine it with really anything. Like I combine mine with reflexology. I think there's someone actually out there that has combined it with the Reiki, and it just combines really good with everything. So, and where was I going? Anyway, you can just use the EFT with everything. There is a caution, though, and that is if you're working on a big problem, you may bring up something that you were not really expecting to bring up. Perhaps a really bad memory that you had repressed comes to the surface, and at that point you would be in something called what psychologists would call an aberration, and that is a revivification of what you actually went through. In other words, a person may be back in Vietnam dodging bullets, or back in the house fire, or wherever. And if that is the case, then you really need to have someone there that can help you through that, which is one reason why I haven't started doing EFT counseling on Skype. It's something that I want to get into, but I really haven't gotten into it yet. But that may happen one time out of 1,000 times. And if you're tapping on your bad day you had last week, or the traffic you had to sit through yesterday evening, or whatever, or Johnny got a bad grade in school or whatever, there's no danger of having an aberration in those circumstances, and you just tap for what comes up or whatever. But like I say, I don't know what the parameters of EFT are, so, and to me there may not be any. Well, we're coming up on 1/2 past the hour, and I'm going to pull up a prayer. I think we opened with prayer, and I think I'd like to close with prayer. See if I can pull that up right fast. Okay, and basically what I've pulled up, it calls it the traditional prayer, which I'm guessing is the King James Version. So, starting with the karate chop point. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Peace. Okay. So that actually came from William Tyndale's version of the Lord's Prayer. He uses trespasses, and trespasses is what's used in the Anglican Church, the Episcopal Church, and if I'm not mistaken, the Methodist Church. And it was how I was taught to pray it by my second grade teacher. So that was real nice. Okay, everybody seems to be doing something this morning, sleeping in or at church or something. So I'm going to sign off now. And this, of course, will be archived on YouTube, so maybe someone will watch it later on. But as always, I would remind you to tap early, tap often, and tap on everything. And thanks for watching.